We are excited to kick off this 2021 school year. And in just a moment, I'm going to turn it over to Lorna so she can kind of give you an overview of what to expect this year. We hope your children have had 2 great days seeing their friends, meeting their new teachers. But we're excited about what this year holds and just are excited that you've joined us this evening. Lorna?
Chuck, would you like to say something?
No, you're the star of the show. I'm just here to back you up.
All right. That was Nyamka Long. For the new parents that I see in the room, and our executive director is Chuck Jackson. And I don't want to hold you all very long because you have your breakout sessions with the grade level teams. And so with that being said, I'm going to go ahead and share my screen and get started. So I want to welcome everyone to the 2021 school year. Just like Nyamka said, we have some exciting news for everyone. There are backpacks at the school. If you have not picked up your backpack, we have the books and the art supplies and the music equipment in those backpacks. So please, if you get a chance to, please stop by the school and speak with Heather. Heather is waiting there to give you your backpacks. We have some new technology and some technology apps that we will be using this year. We are waiting on Chrome tablets for the 5th and 6th grade classrooms and Chromebooks for 7th, 8th. We will be one-to-one. That means everyone will have their own devices and we don't have to worry about sharing. If you need hotspots, we have a few hotspots that we can loan out. You would just have to let Heather know that you need a hotspot so that your children, don't have to share, the broadband as much. We have Seesaw, and Seesaw is a learning management system that we're using. And what this replaces for middle school is Google Classroom. So last year we used Google Classroom, and the parents were really excited about Google Classroom because it was like a one-stop shop where everything was located. Seesaw will be that same type of interaction and interfacing. If you need to know how to use Seesaw, we're going to be sending out some videos that will help you to engage with what your student is engaging with and be able to see what your students see. Last year there was a pilot for Seesaw, and we thought that the parents would be excited about having everybody use one learning management system instead of Google Classroom and Seesaw. ST Math is something that we're going to be using, and that's a math-based program that is leveled per student. So the student plays games on it, completes puzzles, and they go from level to level. ST Math is also it gives us reports on what the students are doing and making sure that their needs are being met. We're also going to be implementing Sora, and Sora is like a management of books. So it's like a huge library. When the students want to read a book, all they have to do is grab their laptops, your phone, any type of device will be able to access Sora. And the great thing about Sora is that they have ebooks. The students can listen to books. They don't have to worry about reading all the time, especially at night. Maybe they want to listen to a book or listen to a story, they can do that. Also, I'd like to welcome our new families and our returning families. We're excited to have you with us. And we also have some new team members. Nora Garcon comes to us from Urban Teachers, and she's a 7th and 8th grade English language arts teacher. Anna Sholnick is our EL teacher for middle school, so she'll be working with students who need special instruction in language. Nina Abelson is coming back to us from lower school, but she has worked with middle school in the past, and she's our math inclusion teacher for 5th, 6th. Trisha Melka is our new music teacher, and we're excited to have her aboard with us as well. And then we also have 2 urban teachers who are working with 5th and 6th grade teams for ELA and math. That's Sebastian Santo and Caroline Tui. These are our aspirations for student learning and student culture for middle school this year for distance learning. And during this time, we wanted to make sure that we had a North Star. And our North Star is going to lead us and give us the direction that we need to make sure that students are engaged, they feel cared for, they also have learning experiences that are based on grade level and also on their interests. And another thing that we wanted to make sure the students were either learning or being reinforced is that they can advocate for themselves through agency and voice. To work towards these aspirations, we are guided by the following: that we have students who have regular checkpoints with the teachers, with the student wellness team, making sure that their social emotional well-being and academic needs are met, as well as they have regular touch points with their classmates through the lunch Zooms, through the PE, the art, the music, and then also making sure that students are engaged in a holistic learning approach, that they're guided for grade level expectations and for student interests. I'm gonna stop right here because I forgot to tell you, if you have questions, can you please put them in the chat room and we will respond to them later. We wanted to make sure that families knew what our expectations are in this partnership. And one of the main things that we wanted to have as an expectation, that the students would have a designated space for them, for themselves to learn. And so we're asking that families make sure that there's a spot in the home where the kids can learn. That it'd be good if you created a daily routine for them so they get up at the same time, they do their lessons, have lunch at the same time, at the end of the day, maybe wind down, and then work on some independent activities. We also wanted to make sure that students have the tools that they need to learn, and that's why we gave away so many items in their backpacks. We're not even asking you to buy anything. The school was generous enough to give the students all the tools that they need to learn. We want to make sure that the families have active engagement with the community, the school community. So that means that you can reach out to us at any time or in any given way to make sure that your needs are met, the needs of the students are met as well. And by doing that, we're having regular checkpoints with check-ins with the teachers and with the school community for social emotional well-being. And if you need something, you can reach out to the school. We want to make sure that communication is two-way, so you'll hear from us a lot, and we want to hear from you. Student engagement expectations. We want to make sure that online learning is looked at as school. And with that, we want to make sure that students are in school or in class and present for synchronous and asynchronous learning. And that means that Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, Friday, they're in their core content classes, and on Wednesday that they're present for PE and music and their language classes. We want the students to be actively engaged with their peers and with their teachers, to ask questions, share ideas, participate during lessons. And I visited a lot of lessons this week, and we are well on our way to doing that. We also want to make sure the students have their videos on. And this helps us to make those connections that we need. And we want to make sure that all of our students feel connected. And so if the videos are on, the teacher can see them. Of course, they can see the teacher, but their classmates can see them as well. Maintain ongoing communication with teachers. Please, this is very important. If you feel like you have questions and you need answers, email the teacher, text, call me. I've given my number out to several people. If you need it, I have no problem with it. We just want to make sure that we're available to you and that the teachers and you and the school has a partnership. We want the students to submit their assignments in a timely manner. We do know that sometimes students can't get their assignments in at a specific time, but in a timely manner means that they touch base with the teacher to let the teacher know that, there's a possibility I won't get my assignment in on time, but I will get it in. And then also to ask for help when it's needed. We have 5 lesson engagement elements, and that is to engage, explore, explain, elaborate, and evaluate. These 5 engagement elements align with our IMYC goals and implementation, and you can see those at the bottom of the screen. We have an entry point, a knowledge harvest, learning activities, reflective journaling, assessment for learning, and the exit point. These are our international components, and we want to make sure that we address the international components as well as our Common Core components and standards. And so we thought that it would be beneficial for us to align these engagement elements. Assessments, progress, monitoring, and grading. And the students will be taking NWEA MAP 3 times a year. Right now, it's scheduled for October, February, and May, and we just met today to kind of iron out how we would get those assessments done and the best way to get that data. And you'll hear more about MAP testing as we get closer to that date. We're looking at grading and student observations, assessment for learning through formal and informal observations and assessments, portfolios and projects, which goes along with our IMYC standards and goals. Summative and formative, that means the students will take tests and quizzes for learning to find out where they are. The teachers will use portfolios and like we said in the previous slide, the journaling to give feedback. And then once that feedback is given, then there will be a summative assessment. We'll use rubrics. Student self-assessments is something that we want to work on this year, helping the students know how to be better at learning, to learn themselves. Again, we're talking about agency and voice, and so they have to know themselves. Journaling, and then small group one-on-one interactions. Those small group one-on-one interactions can take place during the teacher's office hours. Again, every day from 2 to 2:45, there's students have open-ended lessons. They can do things on their own, work on their classroom assignments, engage in some of the apps that we talked about, ST Math and Sora. And then they also can visit the teacher during office hours where the teacher can give them some one-on-one time. Who can I ask for help? So we have a director of technology, which is Andy. He will be the one who gives you the instructions you need to, like if you have device issues or app issues, you can shoot him an email. For backpacks and devices, there's Heather Hesslink, and she's always at the school. I hate to say it, but Heather's always there. And so you can reach out to her and she will meet you and get you what you need as far as the backpacks and the device pickup. Jen Andruzzi is our communications person, and she's the one that's always sending out the emails for you to get all the fabulous CMI information. And you can check your spam or an important tab in Gmail or whatever account you use, whether it's Outlook. There might be some correspondences from CMI in there. And then as always, you can get in touch with me. Most of you know my email, and again, my personal cell phone number, the homeroom teachers as well. Please try and reach out to the homeroom teachers. They are a wealth of information. They will give you what you need to make sure that your students are successful. And also just to build relationship and community with them. So definitely try to reach out to the homeroom teachers. Oh, wow. Okay.
All right. Thank you, Lorna, for all of that information. And thanks for you to those of you who were putting questions in the chat. We did try to answer those as they were going on. We do have a couple of minutes before we go into the next session. Before we do that, I just want to acknowledge we have so many of our middle school teachers on here. It's so great to see their faces, and just really shows how dedicated and committed. Can I have all the middle school teachers raise your hands or wave to their
Wave.
families? Yes, this is so awesome to see. I mean, they are a fantastic team, and we're just so excited. And they have been working really hard the past 2 weeks to ensure that they're ready for a great start to the year. And they're just so committed to the team. And we're excited to see all the good things that are going to come out of this year. We've really focused on social emotional learning, continued that focus because we realized, the students have been really away from us for a long period of time. And we really want to focus this week on really building that relationship and ensuring that, new team members feel welcome, new staff, new students, but then also just, reconnecting with our returning families and returning teachers. So a lot of team building and getting to know each other and building that community is going to be focus of this week. And they're just going to be continuing to add on the academics, ensuring that students are comfortable with the various platforms, getting to know the teachers, the schedules, and all of that. And we just really appreciate all the families and the support that you've already given to your students with the questions that you're asking. That lets us know that you're really vested in your students' learning. And as Lorna said, we really want this to be a partnership as we venture into this, new year remotely. We're going to do all that we can to continue to build community, ensure that the team feels connected, but we ask that you always just reach out. I'm going to stop there. Are there any other questions before we go off and hear from your fabulous teachers?